You like them?
Yeah. They're kind of old, aren't they?
Antiques. Yes. They're all mine. It's my collection of dolls.
Oh, look at that.
Do you want me to tell you a story about my favorite one? I mean this one?
Okay.
Do you know a little bit about history?
No. I happen to like economics.
Oh. Well, I'm gonna tell you. A little bit about the history of this doll, because it's very interesting. This one is from the 19th century. And on the old continent, the first cases of syphilis began to turn up. A terrible disease, you know? It would start with a breakout in the genital area. That was the first stage of the disease, and then it would attack your nervous system, and it would paralyze your legs, your spine, the entire lumbar region. That was during the second stage of the disease. The third stage included serious symptoms of dementia. People who had a lot of money were able to get their hands on opium in order to alleviate some of the pain. But the poorer people ended up in public institutions, and they would submit themselves to whatever kind of experiment to ease the pain. They would be castrated and lobotomized. In the hospitals of the church, the priests in charge of the hospitals would organize a series of plays in order to teach the sick patients, because they believed that if they had syphilis, it was because they had committed an impure act. So they used puppets such as this one to put on the plays in which the main character played the role of Death. Do you know who Death was the incarnate of? Death was a prostitute. That's right.
Eduardo! Hey.
Do you want to come into the kitchen and have a drink?
When I was a young kid, I used to love history and all types of things that had to do with reading and those kinds of stories. And I would get really good grades, and I really loved to read and all that I could find, and I hated math, anything related to it. Forget about it. Well, one time a history teacher contacted me and called me about some colleagues she had at another school far away. There were a couple of from Chile and like 2 or 3 from Uruguay, I don't know, from all over Latin America. Anyway, the idea was to put them onto one of the buses that we had at school and take them to one of the surrounding historical museums, the Casa Rosada, you know, to all of the really important historical places, the historical places that are in the city, right? And the idea was that someone who knew all about these places would give them a tour. But since the guy got sick and I had good grades in history, the history teacher asked me, she asked me to be the guide, and she gave me the itinerary to study. For example, you had the Casa Rosada, and it explained everything about the place. After that, you had the obelisk, and it explained the founding of Buenos Aires, something like that, the history of each place.
Are you comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay, help yourself.
Thanks. Let me get this one here.
So then I got on this bus with my list of museums and the things I had to do and to follow the order. I mean, if I was in front of the obelisk, I would have to be talking about the obelisk. If I was in front of the Casa Rosada, then I'd have to talk about Casa Rosada, obviously. And that's it. The order was already established, and I was standing there with a microphone talking about everything, telling all of these professors about the different places.
You want to drink something?
All right. I do. Yeah. I want something to drink.
There was a truck broken down, and there were cops at the scene, so the chauffeur decided to change the route, switch up the order of the places. And when we were in front of the Casa Rosada, I was supposed to be talking about the Sarmiento Museum or something like that. And I realized that everything I'd said before was wrong, and I looked like a moron. I'd been talking about all these things, and when the people looked at me, they must have thought, what's this kid talking about? I felt like a complete idiot, and all I prayed for was that these people wouldn't say anything to my history teacher. The truth is that the lady never said anything to me, but the only thing is
Does that clock work?
No, it's been broken for a while.
Oh. Is there a working clock here?
It's 1:30.
Come on, stop worrying about the time already. I'm serious.
Oh,
You're not gonna drink anything?
No.
No.
thanks.
So you don't drink beer?
No. Come on, eat, guys.
Great.
If you want, we'll drink what you're drinking.
Here you
that
go.
way, we'll all have fun.
Have some.
Thanks.
All right, a toast. To all of us.
Will you excuse us? We'll be right back.
1 second.